What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's time for that Thursday night indie spotlight. I am your host. They call me the Saint. And with me, as always, my trusty co-host.
The one and only David Estacado here, coming to you live with the Indie Night Spotlight, chilling like a villain. It's warm, so I got the warm vibes on. Chilling with Lorenzo. It's gonna be a good night. Night.
It's just humid here. I ain't too sure where your longitude and latitudinal areas is right now, but I know here it's humid as hell because it stopped raining earlier, long enough for the sun to come out a little bit behind them and start cooking everything. It's just hot. It's just hot.
You can say that again. It's hot everywhere.
Anyway, so tonight's show is a bit different. It ain't even close to what everybody's been seeing us put out content-wise for the last several months. Tonight's going to be very candid. Tonight's going to be very real. There's a whole lot. I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen. I can just tell you that tonight is going to hit on a different note that you really weren't expecting. So with that being said, let's bring on our guest. Our guest at this time is a professional wrestler. He wrestles in the Chester and South Carolina area. Now, he's held some titles in the region. He's been around for a bit. What people don't know is this guy has a lot more than what you see when you see him in the ring. So allow me to bring on our guest tonight, and that is Mr. James Self-Standard. What is up, sir?
What's up, everybody? Good evening.
How you doing?
Hope all y'all are doing fan-freaking-tastic.
Oh, yeah, we're doing pretty good. So, man, look, I've known you for a year and a half, 2 years now, something along those lines.
I would think at least since 2020 because, like, we was there at the CPW taping, and like you called me Skeeter that night. That was the first time you met me.
I called you Skeeter?
Skeeter. Good old Skeeter.
Yeah. If it wasn't that, I know it's definitely in 2019 maybe.
No, it had to be 2020 because I didn't start ring announcing until 2020. It was the end of 2020 because we were working down in Union. Like you say, we were doing a TV taping for CPW's takeover event. All right, I remember that now. So, yeah, we're coming up on, I've known you about 3 years. And I've seen you around. You've been to a bunch of different promotions. And you've worked in a bunch of different areas. I think, let me just start off. You messaged me wanting some time to come on air. What's up? What's on your mind?
I don't know. Like this year I feel like I've been going on like an emotional roller coaster basically. Like there's a lot of stuff in the wrestling business that I haven't been used to, but there's a lot of stuff I'm learning at the same time as well. Now some lessons they're taught harder than others, but I still look at it as a learning experience. But the lessons that are hard though, I'll admit it hurts sometimes. It does. And yeah, like this year, like I've been feeling like I'll be honest. This year, I've been feeling like I've been getting forgotten about. I've been feeling like I feel like I've been losing value in myself, and I've been losing value in the eyes of other people as well. So I've just been dealing with like a lot of self-doubt this year. But I'm training a lot more now. I'm studying a lot more now than I used to. And heck, just this month, I finally joined a gym.
Oh,
so
there you go. And now, last week, I was going to bring you on last week, and you were training with who were you training with last week?
Normally, I train over there at Action Pack Wrestling in Chester, South Carolina, with JD Drake. Now, normally I train with him every Tuesday, but sometimes something comes up and I got to train with Rob Killjoy instead. But sometimes, like last week, Drake, he couldn't make it, so he had to move it to Thursday, and I was supposed to train with him again tonight, but Drake was super duper late, and I couldn't push this back an extra week. Drake gave me full permission to join this podcast tonight.
Oh, okay. So, well, see, so you mean to tell me that promotions aren't, or you are feeling a lot of self doubt about yourself, your ability, or your value, yet you're being trained by a nationally known television wrestling
I was
superstar.
just about to say that, Ron. I literally, like, you have two big names. You have Killjoy and JD Drake, and I guess you're trying to live up to expectations. But man, you have two big names behind you. Good, two great mentors that are, legends in their own right in the ring. I think you're doing pretty fine, man. And doing some of my homework here, watching some of the clips and stuff, and kind of doing some behind the scenes, homework. Kid, you're going up, my guy. Like,
So, well, that David, thank you. That kind of what I was getting ready to touch on was, the cool thing that I can tell you about James is this. I've seen him at shows he's not booked on, still helping out because he's still paying dues to get his foot in the door good, And while I understand your gimmick. Gimmicks are gimmicks, man. Everybody's got a gimmick. Not every gimmick's going to work every place, right? So, for example, if you look at one of the best gimmicks in our region is Jackson Sane, right? You won't see Jackson Sane at every wrestling show because there's some places he's just not going to fit the bill, right? So in your case, you have this happy-go-lucky uh, uh, type of shtick, and in my book, that would be more of an object on, I'm not saying a kid show, but I'm saying a show where there's going to be more kid friendly, religious shows, and also family friendly shows. I think those are the ways I want to put that: family friendly and religious oriented. So places like Wrestling for Christ, and places like that, they would be the most logically suited for a guy with your shtick. Now, and I know you wrestle other places, and you can feel free to mention them. I don't care if you mention them or not. I'll put it that way. I'm not gonna shun you and say no, we don't talk about that. I if you go into something that that I'm not okay with, I'll stop you. But if you just mention promotions you work for, I don't really care. If that makes sense.
But to answer your question earlier about why I do feel the way I do, considering who I'm trained with, or considering who I am training with or trained by, or whatever, it's just the idea that like this year I've only had like 4 matches, and this has the lowest book rate I've ever had in my whole time as a pro wrestler. And my mentality is just that, oh, like, yes, I'm getting trained good, but currently speaking, I feel like I feel like for now anyway, I feel like I'm learning for nothing because I don't know what my future holds.
Okay. So here's another caveat to this. And take it from experience on my side of this game, and potentially David can say the same thing. I don't know if he can or not. Did you know that your social media presence has can have a positive and or negative result on your professional um, bookings? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, with that being said, if I'm a promoter and I go look at your Facebook page, what am I going to see if I go back as far as and understand this one statement? I went back on your Facebook page to 2019 trying to find a picture to use. So do you know how long I sat and scrolled looking for a picture to use for this promo thing? And then I just said, well, to hell with this. I'll just message James directly and say, hey man, do me a favor, send me. Do you know how much stuff I saw that I forgot about on your social media? So with that being said, I'll tell you what I've done, and and this is like I say, this is just me giving you a little bit of advice. You and I, You and I have traveled the road together. We've been on the road together. I drove you home from a show we worked, and that was like what a 90-minute ride or something. We stopped and ate, and we had a good time, had a good conversation, you know. But I actually delete the history of my social media every day. I comb through the memories from that day, and I scrub all that shit off of there because if you want to
No bueno.
talk if you want to talk politics, there's a really simple way we do this. You, me, a cigar shop, and a bar that lets me sit outside and smoke. I can talk whatever you want to talk about in person. I ain't talking that shit on social media. And the reason I won't do it on social media is because you will annihilate or alienate 50% of your audience by doing that.
That's true. That's true.
Now, I understand that you don't post too much about politics. However, you do post a good bit about religion. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. We're in the Bible Belt. I would think something's wrong with you if you didn't. There is one area where I have noticed some things you post that are a slight, in my opinion, they could be considered a turnoff. Everybody deals with things. You, sir, put these diatribes out, these very long posts, and it's a lot of self-doubt. If I'm a promoter, why am I going to want to pay you? And why am I going to want to pay a guy, not you, anybody? Why would I want to pay anybody who doubts themselves? And you almost belittle yourself. And I've told you in the past, I hated reading it because it didn't make me feel feel bad for you. It made me feel bad. Period. Mm-hmm. There's a difference between feeling bad for somebody. That's called having compassion, and that's a human being trait. Which y'all are lucky I showed that to begin with. That's number one. But reality is, it makes me feel bad. So that energy being brought into a work environment where the shows, I'm talking candid right now. So anybody who's got an issue with anything I'm saying, you can send it directly to me after I get off air. Beyond that, I don't message me. Don't send me a direct message now. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. It's not important. It's irrelevant right now. We're talking about a young man's life. So off. Anyway, when you're and the same goes for people at work. Same goes for people at work. So that's why I can say this. If you work in an environment that's already a kind of a challenging role, professional wrestling's challenging, right? It's not easy. Not everybody can do this. But if you work in an environment that's already got that level of difficulty to it, but then you bring in a little toxicity, and I don't mean to call it toxicity because it's not really toxic in the case of it's malice. It's toxic in the case of it spreads. So if you're unsure of yourself and your vibe rubs off on people, it could bring other people down too. Me personally, I've seen you no less than a half dozen times perform professionally. I've seen you in the ring with greats like James Johnson. I love James Johnson. I really do. And for people that don't know James Johnson, that's their loss. That is their loss.
Mm-hmm.
Completely their loss.
Yep.
I think the world of him. I've seen you in the I've seen you in the ring with people that shouldn't be wrestling. Sorry. And I've seen you in the ring with people that should be on a bigger stage. So you've hit everywhere, in my opinion. Okay? Mm-hmm. What do you think is the correct answer for your presentation to get you back on track?
I wish I knew. Right now, I'm trying to just. It's easier said than done, but right now I'm trying to just, I guess, keep putting in the work, keep putting in the patience, and I'm trying to do a lot more networking now more than ever.
right?
I've been in your position. Shit, I'm in your position. You know what I mean? When it comes to that, that's why you have a private Facebook and then you have your work Facebook. You can control who has access to you. Because I've been in that boat, and it took me a while to learn. Even recently, I have learned the lesson that not everything needs to be posted. Your frustrations don't always have to be thrown out there because the right and the wrong people are going to see it. Because next thing you know, that post might be going to another promoter you might have been trying to work with, and they might not work out because of that. And that's all right. It's okay. You just have to prove yourself within the work ethic and the work that you're doing. You're working with two big names right now, so that should help you. Considering that you're going in, you're focused. Even you just said it, you're doing the work, and that's what matters. Let your work talk for you. All right, that's the biggest advice I can give you, um, because I learned it the hard way. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm still trying to, in a way, not really fix my rep, but have my work speak for me. I put in the work ethic. I've learned some lessons, and I've learned from those lessons. I've kind of like, all right, how can I effectively fix the next step? I can't go backwards. I know I messed up. All I can do is look forward, learn from that lesson, take from what I learned, and put in the work.
Hmm.
Right. And same here. I had to learn to not post as much of my. Uh, and let
It,
me preface this.
mhm.
I spent 5 years working for the Department of Defense for the United States federal government. I lived in the land of politics. So what you saw on the news versus what I saw in real life were two different things. So when I came forward with facts, people hated it, and I'm a stubborn prick and I don't let go of things. I hate I don't
It's
like
true.
being wrong. So therefore I try not to argue something unless I know I'm right. I'm not going to argue with you that your shirt's gray when I can clearly see it's blue, even though it's a lighter blue. You know what I'm saying? That's dumb. And green. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to do that. That's a stupid argument to have. And it's a loss. And it becomes detrimental to my character and my integrity. Integrity is a huge thing in this business. And respect.
Hmm.
Respect you got by the boatloads. You have been very polite and very respectful. You didn't know me from Adam. Came right up to me, shook my hand. Hey, man, nice to meet you. And I'm like, who the hell is this happy guy? And why is he so happy? I didn't know. So to kind of see that, and then you think about this 2020, then think about 2021 when some of the dips were happening. I was like, what the hell is he doing? So then it hit in my brain. I'm like, oh crap, this is the same thing I was doing. I know how to fix this. That's why I told you. I was like, man, look, we're going to get together and have a conversation. I can help you. I know what to do. That's why. And now we're having that conversation on air live, and everybody knows it. Like I told people when I talked with Scott Larson earlier this week. And I said, Thursday, you're going to see a side of me you've never seen. Well, most people have never seen because this is me being real. This isn't the dialed up version you're going to get uh, in the third segment of tonight's show. It's not the dialed up version you get whenever you see me at an event. This is more me than I've ever shown on air. Period. Other than maybe when I was drunk on air early on before the what Wrestling Wire was called the Wrestling Wire. I was called like grilling with the Saint, and the Saint was fried most of the time. So
So I think the only thing I can say is surround yourself with people that may help you take accountability. And I think you're in the good boat, man. You're good. You're fine.
Now, I know you're battling depression and stuff like that. And obviously nobody wants to see anything happen to anybody. So, do you have people that you can reach out to and talk to? I noticed not long ago you made a remark about thanking you thanked Elijah Proctor for a conversation that you had with him. Somebody to talk to. I saw that and I thought that was fantastic. I respect the hell out of Elijah Proctor. I really do. And for the people that don't like him, I don't care. You don't have to be the greatest person for somebody to respect you. You just have to be a decent person for people to respect you.
Decent human being in general, yeah.
I I'm not going to say human being because I don't know if I qualify to make that definition.
Or a decent llama.
Yeah, a decent llama. Everybody loves llamas. But James, when you're in the ring, how do you feel when you're in the ring?
I feel like I've been able to take off any sort of mental or emotional leash. The difference between James Self Standard and James Ramsey is that James Self Standard is everything James Ramsey wants to be without fear of social rejection or without fear of making a fool out of myself. So I feel free when I'm in the ring. Free to be me.
I hear that. Respect that. Yeah.
I respect that 100% because guess what? For the longest time, the only time you saw me even close to being remotely happy was when I was in that ring. And take into consideration, I'm a husband and a father. I still wasn't a happy person. I was still a miserable prick. And I was a miserable prick for a long time. Because everybody's got their stuff that they got to deal with. The reality is, if I didn't tell you that, you wouldn't have known that. Mm-hmm. I'm saying it now, and there was a lot of people that had no clue. David knew, because David was around right there towards a big turn in my story. David was there. So, well, he was there, but there. Yeah. Anyway.
And I've had my difficulties. Like wrestling pretty much saved me. It was my therapy. So I totally get where you're coming from. Like they say, you got to be a little bit crazy to be able to do some of the stuff in the ring. But the adrenaline rush, I don't know, like you said, that reaction from the crowd, just being in there, it's just something else. It's almost addicting. Even in the training, going to training was just the highlight of my week. Because I was able to kind of, in a way, beat myself up, but in a way that I was able to push myself. So I totally get where you're coming from.
When we were at the seminar together, because you attended Dr. Tom Pritchard's seminar at Chester, I paid attention to your promo. I really did, because I wanted to know where you were going to go with it. Because I've seen you cut promos. I've seen you talk in reality. I have never seen you merge the two, and you did. And I was like, I actually loved it because it was enough real to make me
believe.
Invested.
It hurt.
Emotionally connected. Emotionally connected. It was enough of your reality that I was able to feel it and then anticipate and hang on what you were saying. Anticipate your next words and hang on those words because I wanted to know what you were going to do next and say next. Do you remember that promo?
Oh, yeah, I remember both of them. And, I got to give a special shout out to Drew Hood. That man's been involuntarily inspiring me to up my promo game, and I thank him for that.
I have thanked Drew Hood for months for being so pushy when it came to promos for everybody because he is by and large proved a point that I needed proved, but I didn't have the ability to do it. He did.
Yeah.
So it made it funny and it
I'm,
made it work.
I'm glad he's one of the few that I feel has become vocal when it comes to doing more promos. Him, Rayhan, Logan Quindell now starting it. Shout out to those three who have really been pushing that whole. It's your job, you know. It's our job to bring that emotion, to, like you said, get that emotional connection. Either we want to bring in the fans that get like, hey, either you want to see me get my ass kicked and pay enough money to come see it, or you want to see me kick some ass. That's our job. We put those asses in those seats. You know what I mean? Tell that story.
The last time I watched you wrestled James Johnson at Chester. And guess why I was there? I was there because of one man's promo, and that was Rayhan. Rayhan talked me into buying a ticket for myself and my daughter and driving 2 hours. I was like, shit, I got to see this.
It's just me, or do his promos just get better and better? Like every other one, he tries to exceed his last promo.
He does.
Oh, totally.
His work is fantastic. I'm a believer. I am a believer in Rayhan. Really am. And I believe that you have the ability to do this. I believe you have the ability to get more bookings as well as better bookings.
And there's something about a promo that
What's
stand out and get that emotional connection, you'll be remembered. Like, for case example, what Ron just said, he remembered your promo because of that emotional. You hit him. You got him right in the feels. Hell, for example, not to toot my own horn, but like the last we were live at the con, where we're doing the con, the Tennessee Heroes and Legends. We were in the middle of talking with Dr. Tom and Mr. Kazana, and he brought it like right on. Hey, man, I remember you now. You looked the part. You did a great promo. Like, to have him remember that promo, and it was like almost a year ago. It just shows a lot.
And that's Tom Pritchard, who's probably seen more promos than any of us have combined. So you see what I mean about resonating and a common denominator. People deal with all sorts of stuff, man. And people deal with depression in different ways. I'll never tell you not to talk to somebody, but talk to somebody, not everybody.
Wise words.
You know what I'm saying? I'm fairly confident my phone has been texted by you more than once, you know, just to shoot the breeze, or you had a question, or you had an idea, you had something you wanted to run by me. And we had the conversation and went on about our day, right?
Sorry, what?
Are you okay?
Sorry, your audio cut out for a minute. Your audio cut out for a minute.
Oh, okay, my bad. That's weird. What I said was, there's been a occasion or a few of them where you have texted me out of the blue, and and asked me about, hey, what do you think of this idea, or what about this? What about that? How does this sit? And I've answered you, and we've talked back and forth, you know, about random stuff. Dude, we've talked about girls. That's happened. We've talked about, you know, all kinds of stuff, right? So,
Right.
I'm not telling you that I'm a therapist. I'm just telling you my phone's on. And I guarantee you that there's a lot of people out there that you know who have no problem supporting you. One thing I will tell you is, if you need somebody to talk to, message somebody directly. Instead of casting a wide net with holes this big in it, you don't catch too many fish. Marine Corps snipers always go by a code of aim small, miss small. And now I was told that by an old gunnery sergeant from, you know, damn Vietnam era. So, but they say aim small, miss small. They don't tell you to aim at somebody's head. They say aim at somebody's button on their shirt. Yeah, they tell you aim small, miss. So you pick in other words, I'm telling you to pick a smaller target when you're trying to focus something. When you're trying to have a conversation or you're trying to talk about something, message a couple people. Hey, you got a few minutes? Or hey,
Yeah.
Something like that. I'm trying to do that now. We are getting ready to move into our next segment. I want you to hang out with us, and there's a reason I want you to hang out. We're getting ready to be talking to Travis Trammell. He will correct me when he gets on air, I'm sure. We're going to be talking to him. We're going to be talking to him about sensory inclusion that's coming to AWL and CPW. And I want you to stick around for this conversation, if that's okay. All right. While we're waiting on Mr. Trammell to come in, he has his invite. We are going to roll through some comments. Mr. Cole Maccabee, Pro Wrestling Union owner, has
Mr. Maccabee, sir.
He said, "Good evening, all."
Hello, sir.
Alex Kalpakis. David, any help? Kalpakis?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Kalpakis. Yeah.
Kalpaxis? Paxis. Okay, we'll go with Kalpaxis. Alex, if I got it wrong, just shoot me a message and be like, "It's this way, you fucking moron." And I'll.
Yeah, because you just have a bad habit just butchering names. Lately, just saying.
I do. And see, he was agreeing 1,000% with the social media presence, and he said, "Scrub your social media pages." I see. I'm not the only one. This guy's a professional wrestler too. In North Carolina. And then Sonia Gannon. I'm gonna go with Gannon.
Gahagan.
No.
Gahagan.
Gagan?
Yeah, there we go.
Maybe?
Gahagan.
Gagan. I don't know. Anyway, look, butcher names. I'm sure I'll see her this weekend and she will slap me.
It's Ron Emerson, the butcher of names.
Whatever.
Real quick, I want to say thank you to Cole Maccabee. I'm not sure if he's still watching or not, but like, I've known of that man since I was in middle school. Like when Action Pack Wrestling was under different management in a different building, I saw Cole Maccabee with like his long blonde hair, and like before I started wrestling myself, like before I had my first match, Cole, he was one of the people that helped train me last before I actually started working matches. So Cole, he's been there for me for a lot of my eventing, and he's seen a lot of stuff from me mentally and physically.
Gotcha.
Love you, Cole.
Everybody loves Cole Maccabee.
Everybody loves Cole.
And the people that don't,
except Chris Vallow.
The people that don't love Cole Maccabee are just idiots. They can't. I can't account for bad taste or piss poor IQ scores. So, but our next guest has arrived in the studio, so we're going to go ahead and bring on Mr. Travis. And you can correct me now on air. Is it Trammell or Trammell?
It's Trammell.
Trammell. Okay. Well, see, I was
Yes,
saying
sir.
Trammell. I was giving you a little bit more oomph to it, but it's
Nah,
Trammell.
you're good. I've been called that my whole life. Like even in elementary school, Travis Trammell come to office, so I'm used to it. But no, it's no worries. Real before we start, guys, I want to make sure I say this first. James, you don't know me from Adam, but I heard what you were talking about, everything you struggle with, and I felt like I was gonna have to tell this to somebody anyway. So I'm glad I'm on here. I'm also a man of faith. I also have anxiety. I'm diagnosed with it. I'm on medicine, everything. And since I've gotten the opportunity that Ron asked me to come here and speak about, I've been trying to get as much, positive light on as possible. Get them as many podcasts as I can, mention it, share it, all that. Well, I was on another podcast the other day, just in the chat, and I mentioned something about an AWO becoming center inclusive, all that. And the host didn't disregard my, what I had to say by any means. It was just honestly wasn't the reaction I wanted. You know what I mean? So, and then like I just stewed on that, and I'm like, why didn't he give me the support that Ron gave me? Why didn't I get this reaction? Why didn't he go just tell me that, hey, you're doing awesome, you're doing great? And I stewed on that, I dwelled on that, and finally I felt God tell me that I gave you this passion. It's your passion, it's not everybody else's. So if you know you're doing what you're meant to do, you're doing what you're passionate about, you're doing what God's put on your heart, man, that's all the encouragement you need, man. Like if you don't get this person's approval or what you think you're doing, as long as you know what you're doing and what you're passionate about, keep on trucking, man. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it you know, it's a lot of times easier said than done, but I felt like I wanted to share that with you, bud.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries, man. Absolutely. All right. Now, before I forgot, I got ADHD and all that, so I want to get that out of the way before we got into the meat of this conversation. So,
Right. So I know James Self Standard is going to be reloading his page momentarily, so he may drop off. He drops off. I'll bring him back on when he comes back up.
sure.
James, to be fair, it may be lagging because of all of us being on at the same time, and you might be the weakest link on the internet. I don't know. Jesus Christ, why would you send me that now? I needed that 3 days ago. 3 days ago, not now. Yeah, I got you. Anyway, KC Leanne chimed in. She said, "Good afternoon, gentlemen." Hey, KC. So
Good evening, man.
here's kind of the thing, and I've noticed that when I go to certain wrestling shows, some shows are louder than others, and I took my son up to Rutherfordton. Help me out. Shit. It was the Haliotsko Cup, the Haliotsko Memorial Cup with Gene Perry, right? Gene Reffin Perry. Yeah, him. And his daughter passed away from cancer, and cancer's a big deal for me because I've lost both my parents to cancer. So when that conversation, yeah, it was HWA. Thank you, Casey. When it came up, I told Gene, I was like, "You're not paying me. I'll do it for free, and we're going to promote the shit out of it." I'm like, sign me up, Scotty. I'm in. I rolled up there, suit in hand, ready to go. Well, if their ring announcer showed up, awesome. If he didn't show up, I had him covered. He wasn't going to go without for that night because it meant a lot to me to be involved. So the reason I tell you that is because 3 matches in, I had to leave because my son started freaking out because of how loud it was.
Right.
Now, there's no diagnosis on my kid. I don't know. But I have a feeling that he's got some sound issues, some hearing problems, because certain noises set him off.
Right.
So I don't know if that's part of what you're talking about or if that's just something else.
Right. I'd say flat out why really this has been such a passion of mine. For one, I mean, I love wrestling, and I feel like I'm just meant to be involved. I'm passionate about it. But sensory inclusion is also something I'm very passionate about. And here's why. Um, both of my kids are diagnosed with something called sensory processing disorder, and it's essentially uh, loud noises. For my son's a more, I guess you could say, severe case than my daughter. Um, a lot of times with him, it's just like something as simple as is the wrong texture could just trigger him, and it just sets him off. He's been coming to wrestling shows with me for a while, so as far as the loudness of wrestling shows, he's kind of gotten um he's gotten better about it. He's not bothered as much. But so he's kind of grown up, grown. He's grown, I guess as far as he's more tolerant, I guess would be a better word. But so yeah, and and also I work with a lot of kids at church, kids group and stuff, and a lot of my friends have autistic children, sensory needs children as well. And again, the loudness can really trigger a lot of kids, stuff like that. And a lot of times it's just like, suck it up, just, it's not that bad, but like you said, a lot of times it's situations where people have to leave where they're at. They can't enjoy what they want to enjoy. So I always felt like, um, I want to figure out a way to help those enjoy wrestling or enjoy whatever they're passionate about, their hobby. To um, and I think it all kind of began when I noticed that AEW had they they announced that they were going sensory inclusive. They partnered with an organization called Culture City, which they're a great organization, but honestly, you kind of have to be like AEW or WWE to partner with them because they're not going to give an indie federation the time of day. You know what I mean? Because the money's not there. I mean, just being honest.
Right.
Um, but they have sensory packages available that you can ask for at the door. It includes noise reduction headphones, like a fidget toy, and just other things that would help, like ADHD kids, kids with anxiety, autistic children, sensory kids, and all that. And I was like, this is awesome. And around when that was going on, my son hadn't really developed the tolerance he has now at the time. So it really came in handy. And so, and like I said, my son's more tolerant now, but the more we kept going to indie shows and stuff, I was like, okay, this isn't loud. This is you know, WWE, AEW loud. There's no pyro, but it's still loud. There's still, the ring noise, the music, all of that. And a lot of times I've seen kids, like I said, with your daughter, or you had to leave the show early. I've seen
Yeah,
that
with my
happen
son.
too much. Your son, I'm sorry,
You're good.
but so I was like, this should be a thing more indie companies can think about. And so, yeah, I had the opportunity with before it didn't work out, and I'm not going to go into details of that because just the person that was involved with has been buried enough, and I don't want to use this platform for another reason for that to happen. So I
No,
know,
you're good.
no, you're good. But I just I had a previous opportunity with another short-lived federation, well, a very very short-lived federation, and it just didn't work out. But that urge to do something centrally inclusive for like with the indie federation was I really wanted it to be done. Then I just happened to see KC, even though she had just popped in the chat earlier. I saw her mention a comment to a parent right after the David Cody show. That the same thing happened to him. He had to leave the show because of his child. They couldn't handle it. And I mentioned to her, and I said, I've had this stuff out in the garage for almost a year now that I ordered for, you know, previous opportunity. You know, uh, and we talked, and Jimmy Ward as well, and then I was brought on to help with social media as well, but also to get our sensory inclusion aspect, get the ball rolling on that. So, but I
You,
feel like go ahead.
well, I mean, yeah, you sold a boatload of tickets right there at the end of that David Cody Memorial push. You sold at what, like 11 tickets in a couple of hours?
I helped a little bit. Yeah, Jimmy
Yeah,
handed me a few, and I tried to push them as much as I can.
yeah. I mean, and that's cool, man. Like,
That's really dope, yeah.
and it's also, I'm trying to think of how to word this because I never want people to think I'm saying something out of turn or out of sorts. So just understand, you've heard me speak, like you
Oh
know
yeah,
me enough to
yeah,
know when I'm
yeah,
being a dick versus when I'm attempting to be sincere. Um,
sure.
I I know you're not doing this as an angle, or you know what I'm saying.
Right,
You're not trying to come in through the back door.
right.
this is what I call a real good gateway. You know what I mean? This is a really
Right.
good way into the because I would have never thought about it.
Right.
I mean, I've put the hearing protection headphones on my kid before, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. Sometimes he just gets too bored and he says, "Well, it's too loud. Still, the hearing protection's not working. We got to go."
Right. Right.
That's kind of his thing when he's done. He'll do that. Um, let's see. It's going to keep cutting up because of how many of us are in here. That's
Yeah.
what I keep telling you, James. It's bandwidth. So think of the internet like a road, okay? It's 4 lanes of I-85. All right?
Yeah.
And there's traffic on all of them and you're stuck in the slow lane you can't merge over. That's what the internet looks like.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
I've only worked on the internet for 20 years. I know what it looks like. But that's been the best explanation I've ever had for other people. The only other thing I can do is explain the difference in 2G and 5G internet speed. One's like taking a pitch from, in the Major League Baseball, short distance hits you really, hits you really hard and fast. And the other one's like Peyton Manning chucking a 75-yard football. Yeah, a Hail Mary, and you're just going to catch it, but it ain't going to hit you as hard. 2G is the one that doesn't hit you as hard but goes further. 5G hits you like a truck and it's close by. There you go. There's your explanation of Wi-Fi and internet, baby. I'm a scientist. This is what I do for a living. It's what I do. I'm dead serious when I tell you that that's what I do for a living. I'm essentially a damn engineer in this. But anyway,
But,
No,
but I digress.
I find it very cool that this is something that you're passionate about. You already had the stuff, and you were just looking for the right place. And
yeah.
that one spark was your message saying, "Hey, answer the phone this time."
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that because going into this, I was like, I felt like I would need some sort of explanation before I went anything else because honestly, um, independent wrestling, it's kind of like a really gate kept industry, which, and I'm not saying not, to a point, it deservedly so because a lot of people don't belong in it. And so I kind of felt like a lot of people probably be like, well, who's this guy? Why is he all of a sudden with AWL? So, but then I was like, I know why I know the reasons I'm involved with it, and clearly, Jimmy and KC saw something in me. So hey, if anybody else wants to, got any questions, hey, message me, whatever. But yeah. So,
I
but
think it's great, man. Like it comes from a personal thing that I deal with. That gets kind of what's called like sensory overload,
right,
and I feel it. Sometimes, even at concerts, I have to have like earbuds or something. Like I'm trying to enjoy the show, but sometimes it could be a little too much. So somebody who comes from that background, I totally get it. And I think it's great that you're trying to bring this so people who do have that, who do suffer with that, can still come out and have a good time. And you're giving the tools necessary for not just for yourself personally, but for promotion to kind of reach out to another demographic, so to speak, who can still come out and enjoy the show. I think that's fantastic.
Here's kind of what we have so far. We've got the noise reduction headphones, and those we'll have those available at Pro Wrestling Union's Heatwave coming up July 22nd. I'm working toward getting the rest of the stuff so we can actually have the sensory bags, kind of like AEW, with the other stuff, the fidget toys, the other stuff for kids. I'm gonna try to get some of those together, made up for us eventually. Like I said, for right now, all we have is the noise reduction headphones. Um, Working towards some other stuff. I've got a contact at the South Carolina School for the Deaf and Blind, and working on it. Probably be when school starts back up, more than likely. But I'm working with them to get something going on with them. It's in the works. And as far as everything we've got planned. That's kind of where we're at now. But that's like I said, that's where we're working toward. I'm kind of get the rest of that together at now. But honestly, right now, I'm just super thankful to Jimmy and KC and even Cole McAbee. We spoke of him earlier with this whole uniting excellence thing that we've got going on now between Pro Wrestling Union being involved with AWL Classic Pro Wrestling, excuse me, and Heroes to Legends. I think this is the opportunity just across the board for all four of them to because we're all working together now. The whole lot of us are working together now. So this is going to be an option across the board with all those shows now. It's not, I keep saying, AEWL is going century inclusive, but all of us, Pro Wrestling Union, Heroes of Legends, CPW, and the AWL are all as one will be a century inclusive environment now as well.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
And I mean, a lot of people don't realize when you go to an AEW or a WWE show, y'all want to talk about loud. Jack, I'm gonna tell you, it's loud.
Oh yeah.
I I considered taking my daughter earlier this year because I really want her to see the difference. But
Right.
she's happy as a clam going to these indie shows we go to because we go to a lot of shows.
hmm
I work a pretty good bit, but we go to a heck of a lot of shows, and there are times where I'm like, man, I wish I could take my son or whatever. Number one, if I take two kids, I need another adult with me. No joke.
Right.
I can't work and work at the same time.
I get it. I have twins, so I get it, man.
Dude. Yeah.
Oof, more power to you, bro.
No thanks.
It's all I know. It's all I know.
Now, see, the cool thing, like my daughter, she's old enough now. She's 11, and she actually works my merch table. So, like, that's her gig.
Or the
like,
camera now.
Yeah, and she carries a camera and gets us fussed at by WWE legends.
I've already told my daughter. She's sitting in here with me. Like I've already told her, like I'm putting her to work once we start back up. So,
Dude,
I
she
feel
could
you.
be handing out the bags.
That's
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's it.
Now, are these going to be free, or is this something that a patron would have to pay for, or an optional donation? What are we talking about?
The idea. Well, we had the idea. Excuse me, that I had before, and I'm pretty sure I remember it being the same way when we went to AEW. Was it'd be just like a drawstring bag with all the stuff in it, and you I think you like at the door you leave like your keys or driver's license, something that you won't forget. We hold that. You get your bag after the show. You turn the bag in. You get your keys, driver's license, whatever back. Just some sort of like we know we've got something you're not gonna forget, so we can get those back.
So it's just
You
kind
know,
of like
that
a
kind of
rental. That makes sense. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
that works.
And well, of course, after each show, after each use, we'll clean them. So there will be no concerns or worries about us giving you
Dirty
a
equipment.
dirty
Yeah.
set of headphones or anything. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah. Well, you have a tote that you take them out of, and then a return tote over here, and then you're done.
Right.
So that's a fantastic idea. Dude, yeah, I love this. You know that, right? I love this because, and see, that was
I'm
the
all
thing.
behind it. I think
When-
it's great, and I think more promotions should start offering that. I think this is a great start to kind of show how it works.
I hope so. And I don't want it to be this thing like, oh, AW is the first one to really. I just want this to be a thing because I've made enough friends in the little cup of coffee I've been involved with all of this. I mean, a lot of guys. I know a lot of good dudes across the board. I really hope and pray this is something that takes off, as you guys and like you guys said. I think it's something a lot of more indie fans should take notice with. So
And not only that, think of it. One of the ways I'm thinking about it's like this is, and James, I saw you raise the mic, so I know you want to talk in a second. I saw that. But
Is this the way I'm holding it?
okay. there are a lot of promotions out there, and you have the ability to meet a lot of them. And also, this is something I believe the show you commented on, the podcast you were in the crowd for the other night. I'm not sure about. I don't know if it was Scott Larson or if it was the Lowdown podcast. I don't know what show it was. I I share a lot of content, so if it was something you saw from me, I don't know. But I do know that Dalton Brown brought it up, Roadhouse brought it up on the Swanton pod he did with Bill Wright. And they're actually going to try to add a feature where they let fans know that shows are sensory inclusive.
Yes.
And that's cool shit to me. Like, you just had an app developer change the program because of a statement. Like, that's smart. Man, look, at the end of, you know how I end these how we end these shows, right? We go through the laundry list of wrestling events that we're going to be attending. If you show up to any of these, let me know in advance that you're there or that you're coming, and I'll be sure to get you introduced to promoters and powers that be, so that way those conversations can be had.
Same.
I appreciate that. Like, absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
wrestling, number one, wrestling over everything, but wrestling is for everyone.
Yes. And that's a T-shirt.
Absolutely.
That's a T-shirt right there.
Well, wrestling over everything already is a T-shirt.
Well,
and
I know.
Wrestling
Well,
is for everyone is also a T-shirt.
Oh.
But putting it together, it would be double gimmick infringement, and my lawyers already hate me, so I don't want to deal with that. Well, my lawyers like me because they make money. They hate me because I cause problems.
That explains so much.
Dude, it was hard when I first moved down here because I didn't have a lawyer. But I would call my lawyer up in Maryland and be like, "Hey, how's it going? Man, what are you doing?" "I don't know. Why?" "I was just calling to say, hey." He goes, "Oh, good. At least you're calling me to BS and not calling me because you're in trouble.
What
and
happened
I
now?
can't help you."
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
What'd you do now?
That's what he was thinking. That's what he was thinking. And I mean, it didn't help. Like, I knew members of his family from when I was a little a-hole kid and everything. Oh God, like, ugh.
Now, you just been causing all kinds of trouble even since you were a little tight.
Yeah. I was way worse when I was younger than I am now. I am so I'm not the. I'd venture to say I'm about as good as I can be as far as being the best version of me. I can say that much. I think I'm there. Ish.
That's kind of how I think about myself. So.
But so James, what you've been to a lot of shows, and I know that you've had involvement throughout all these areas. What do you think of this?
Oh, lose him again.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Oh, sorry. Say that again.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
say it again. Okay, yeah, I couldn't hear you because the microphone was moved away from your head. You've been to a lot of shows, and I'm sure you've seen this stuff happen. What do you think about the sensory inclusive initiative? I don't know what this is called, so I'm calling it the sensory.
I just say we went sensory inclusive. So I mean, you can kind of just call it,
Yeah, I called
that.
it
Sure.
Yeah, I called it the sensory inclusive initiative or some mess the other day
That
when we
works.
were talking about it.
Of course, I fully support it because the spectrum, it is like very vast and wide. Okay, and like, thank goodness, like the only sensory issue I have is like just what's the word for it? I think it's like a mental sensory issue. I'm not sure if that's a thing or not. It's like when I'm trying to think about too many things at one time and I get bogged down and I start forgetting stuff because I got
Right.
too much stuff to memorize at one time.
Yeah,
And like when I first started wrestling, I had to take notes about what spots I wanted to call in the ring. But thankfully, I've learned to learn from that, and I can think better than I used to.
I mean, when I was dealing with concussion symptoms, dude, I hated lights. I hated loud noise. Um, a truck drove by. The passenger side or the driver's side window was open. I wasn't even driving. The passenger side window was cracked open, and this truck drove by, and I swear to God, his exhaust was here in my forehead. It sucked.
Yeah.
And I also had a ruptured eardrum at one point too. It might have been around the same time. And there was a laptop in the room, and the fan bearing in the laptop that was 6 feet to my left was going off. And I was like, "Can you please?" I was in mid sentence. I stopped myself, turned, and looked. And I was like, "Can you please turn that laptop off or take it out of here because that sound is drilling a hole in my forehead right now."
Right.
And it was concussion related and perforated or ruptured eardrum, whatever the hell the case may be. I think it was perforated, not ruptured. Can you still hear if it's ruptured, or does it heal?
Maybe.
I think.
I think
I
it
don't
heals.
I don't know, but
Yeah,
anyway.
it just means that there's a hole torn into it. But I think you can still
Yeah, that's I had a hole torn in my eardrum, and dude, you want to talk about a level of asshole? Good God, I hadn't been that rank since I was young. Yeah. Mean and nasty was not even close to me in the dictionary.
I can only imagine, man. That just sounds absolutely painful.
But and then concussions, lights and sounds and all that mess, dude. I get it. I'm on board just from that standpoint because I know how bad it sucked, and I didn't have it full time.
Yeah.
But like James here says, that the spectrum's kind of vast. There's a lot of different forms of autism. People wouldn't know that James is autistic unless he told you. You wouldn't know. There's people. There's a lot of people I could be like, haha, you have no idea. You don't know.
Because it's such a broad.
Yeah,
It is.
It touches so many different things, like auditory, visual,
ADD,
Asperger's.
there's sensory.
Yep. What did you just say?
Sensory.
Not you, him.
Oh,
Yeah.
What did you say, James? Damn it, James.
Yeah,
Did you say Asperger's or something?
yeah, I got
Is that what you
Asperger's. Yeah.
Oh, that's what you have. Oh, I didn't know that's what you had.
It makes it socially awkward.
Fine.
Oh, okay.
I got you.
I didn't, like I said, I didn't. No, we had that conversation, didn't we?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking
We
about
did.
that when we were on the road that night. God, all right. It wasn't a bad ride. It was just a shit ride because of like the roads we were on. But the car ride was itself our conversation, and we had food and stuff. That was fine. It was just the road we were on.
were you on those windy roads late at night where it's like
Dude,
along the
we
mountains?
were leaving the meth lands. I mean, Lawrence or Clinton
Meth lands.
or whatever that garbage is. We were there, and we were going to Chester. So it was like, when I saw Chester, I had never been to Chester.
I don't
And
think
I
I've
was-
ever been to Chester.
Dude, it was an improvement. And I've been to Chester in the daytime now, and I'm like, dude, this place is wonderful in comparison to the shithole we were in. What the hell?
I remember one night I came from a show. The show was like in like a barn almost, like it was like the warehouse part of the barn. And on the way home, we saw a bear, owls, skunks, opossums. We were out there. I'm like, if we turn a corner and we run into Bigfoot, I'm done.
My daughter and I turned a corner leaving Waxhaw from XWW, the last show we were at. And bro, there was a donkey on the side of the road. And when I say on the side of the road, I mean like my man had two hooves in on his left side and his right side was on the other side of the ditch. Like my man was wide. He was outside the fence. And I considered calling the cops or something. I'm like, I'm not gonna call nobody because they're gonna come out here raising hell with lights and sirens, and then Jimbo's gonna come up out the hole over here after cleaning his tooth and saying, "What the hell is wrong? Why are y'all
Yeah,
driving
it's,
down
Why
here
y'all,
like
it's
me-
just, it's just
why
Steve.
y'all messing with my donkey?
Yeah,
Why
it's
y'all
just
messing
Steve's
with my
Leo's
donkey?
nightly walk.
Yeah, scaring Steve. Why are you scaring Steve? I knew it was
Leave my
coming.
donkey alone.
Yeah, yeah, with his one tooth. He had just got it clean. Um, that's the area. It was like, what are we doing? But no, you and like I say, James, you and I had that conversation a while back, and I even told you then. I had a feeling you had ADD or ADHD. That was about it, because you acted random like I acted. So we can smell our own kind, you know. Um, so I was like, this kid's all right. And then when you said that, I was like, fuck is Asperger? And since then, I've met somebody else who's got it. Well, let me rephrase that. I'm pretty sure I've met somebody else who's got it, but I don't know it for a fact. Um, but that dude gives me serial killer vibes a little bit. So yeah, that dude does. Not you, not you. You don't give me
I
serial
know,
killer
I
vibes.
know.
No. But anyway, look.
I,
Oh, go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, like, I really appreciated being here tonight. Like, it definitely has been a great help to me. Thank you.
Oh,
I'm glad, man.
man, you're
Like,
welcome,
I see,
dude.
I see great things
Absolutely.
in your future, kid. You're doing the right thing. You're surrounding yourself with people who are building you up, who have invested in you. You're doing the right thing. You're going to be fine. Once you get
Yeah.
and this is, I guess, wasn't expecting a therapy session here tonight, but hey, there you have it. But speaking of therapy, I did have a similar conversation with my therapist earlier today, and they brought something up I think might kind of resonate with you, is that we reject ourselves before anybody else rejects us. I think that's kind of the mindset that you're in right now, that you think that we in the wrestling community, I think, kind of have this desire to be accepted in a way because we're constantly getting bookings. We're trying to get to the next level and all that. But I think we kind of lose sight and that we shouldn't be trying to be accepted by everybody else, but accept ourselves first. And that will kind of resonate more.
I actually.
I,
Oh, go ahead, Travis.
I would say, like, I'll tell you one person's life you made a difference in. My daughter, who was just in there, she could care less about wrestling. Like, absolutely could care less. The Union Fire Department, the Buckshot, Buck Carter,
The tribute to Buck.
shit. Yeah, the tribute to Buck show. One of the few shows she tagged along with us too. James, you teamed with Bootleg Dave and
Big
I forget what
Nasty.
his other part. Yeah, Big Nasty. My daughter had a ball watching y'all. You did just a lot of springboard high flying stuff. Big Bootleg Dave had a high C box in his overall sipping of it. My daughter had a ball. That was her favorite part the entire show. And she heard me talking about it, so she had to pop in.
That's fine.
So when you, like I said, like, don't work, like when you think you don't matter, and then all those thoughts you struggle with earlier and stuff, like it's stuff like that, man. Like I said, keep focused, keep doing what you know you're meant to do, what you're passionate about, and like I said, you're doing good, man. You're doing great. That memory just kind
Thanks.
of clicked in my head. Wow, so absolutely, man.
Now, I'm
So
gonna. I know you're getting ready to get out of here, James. So I'm gonna end it with this.
And
A
again,
lot.
thanks for having me. And
No problem.
hey,
I'm not
can I
done.
go ahead and make one? Can I make one quick advertisement,
You
real
you
quick?
can you can.
If-
I'm gonna say this part, and then you can say whatever you want to on your way out the door. Okay.
like,
Fair enough.
okay.
All right. So, by all intents and purposes, do you know anybody else who's got Asperger's who's a professional wrestler?
Um, if I know about Jamie Lee. I know he's Mr. ADD. That
Okay, that's
much.
ADD. Now, is that a
But
shtick or
like,
is that really him? Is
but
that a
like, as
gimmick or
far
is
as like
that
an
his thing?
actual, as far as like an actual other wrestler that has it, I don't know him personally, but Drake has told me about Nick Camarado. Apparently, he has it on
Okay.
AEW.
All right.
But like, I
So
don't know anybody personally.
okay. So with that being said, for all intents and purposes, you're already doing something that most people who are cut from a similar cloth can't do. You're already doing something that a lot of people wish they could do, to be fair. Do
Yep.
you know how many people wish they could do perform in front of the crowds and things like that, but they don't? A bunch of people do. A lot of them are too chicken shit, number one. That's first and foremost. Chicken shit. Secondly, is
Mhm.
they don't have the level of heart, determination, or drive to do it. Guess what you got? You got heart. You got determination. You got drive. You're doing this for a reason, dude. And look at what you've done already. You're having a setback. We call this a setback. And a setback ain't got shit on the comeback. Okay?
That's it.
So I'm telling you flat out that I'm proud to know you. I've been around you in the ring. I've seen you in the ring. I've seen you at shows. I've seen you not working. I've seen you not working. Uh, you're already more important than you thought. It's nobody else. Shit, he completely dropped me. Damn it.
He'll be
Thanks for
back.
coming to my TED Talk.
You tried. You tried, Ron. You tried.
No,
I was.
I was gonna like kind of bring it towards like video game wise. Like you're getting closer and closer to the end of the dungeon because you keep getting enemies and stuff coming your way. You're just about to level up anyway. The kid's on this level up period. You'll be fine.
Mhm.
He is. I I'll be honest with you. I was supposed to have that conversation with him in person years ago,
Mhm.
like a year ago or 2 years ago. It never worked out. For
Mhm.
one reason or the other, his schedule, my schedule, our schedule. Last year was stupid. I worked for like 12 different wrestling companies and I don't know, 30, 50 shows. I don't know. I lost count. I was on the road all the time. I don't do that no more.
Right.
I work for good shows. As many good shows as I can, I work for
Quality
them.
over quantity.
Yes, quality over quantity. Quality bookings
Oh yeah.
and quality people. I like being around good people and good shit. I hate being around a bunch of drama and nonsense and nothing ever goes. Fuck that. I ain't dealing
I
with that
was. I
shit.
was. I was talking to our good champion Brino Royce just the other night about the school for the deaf and blind stuff, and we both kind of agreed that like as much bad as in this, what we're involved with, we try to do as much good as we can with the opportunity we've got. So
It, so I, we're gonna cause the dividing line to get bigger. Okay, we are gonna be setting dynamite or tanninite or whatever you want to use, basically on the San Andreas fault, and we're gonna sink the shit that don't belong anymore.
I'm on board with that.
I I didn't really have a purpose when I started this. I did it for something to do because I was bored. That started the podcasting thing, the live streams. You go back and watch them, I'm drunk most of the time.
Yeah.
The reason I was drunk most of the time was because the pills I was taking made me feel worse than help instead of help me. So drinking was better for me, oddly enough. I don't drink a lot now, but back then I did. So that's
I don't mean to interrupt, but I get it. I'm now going on 4 years sober, so that was me. So I get it, man. So
right. Well, like I say, I was injured, and I
right.
I had better luck with the booze than I did the damn pills. The pills made me shit. The booze, I could still function.
Go figure.
Right?
Yeah.
I'd be scared to know what the medicinal leafy green stuff would have done for me. God only knows what that would have done. But
You just end up like even higher Stephen Meeks probably.
I don't know. Anyway, I'm not gonna.
Even Smiler, even Smiley. Oh, you smiling? That's scary.
It is. I'm getting this fixed. I'm getting it fixed. Don't worry. Another one of my turnaround investments is that. Anyway, but and that's mostly related to the injury as well. What people don't realize is when your neck has been compromised, your jaw muscles are attached to your neck. So my jaw has been permanently pulled back. So my mouth is damn near permanently hung open slightly. So because my mouth doesn't close, the erosion of all your teeth and stuff happens faster.
Jeez.
Yep, I learned that at the dentist. So, but it looks like self-standard's back again. All right.
Is it? There he is.
There he is.
All right.
He's in frame.
What'd you want to
There he
say,
is.
James, before you get dropped off again? What'd you want to say, buddy? Papa, can you hear me? Sorry.
You hear this, bud?
I don't think he can have this.
Ground control to Major Tom. Are you there? Major Tom?
Isn't there some songs with like James in them? I don't know.
The one time we're trying to
Hello?
think of it, we probably can't think of it.
Is there anybody in there?
There he goes.
Oh,
Not anymore.
smile if you can hear me, buddy. Anyway. Oh my God.
We tried.
Yeah.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
We'll try.
Maybe, perhaps he will be back. So I definitely want to get you on board coming to some shows that we've got going on.
That's good.
Uh,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, no, she's got some yogurt and some grapes in here, and she's trying to feed me.
Oh,
So.
great. That's a good combination. I'm a blueberry and yogurt kind of guy. So yeah.
So,
I am a yogurt and cereal person. So I actually
man,
use,
every morning.
yep, I use yogurt instead of milk in my cereal every day.
I use protein powder and mix it
Really?
up. Yeah.
How do
protein
you
powder,
put-
Greek yogurt.
Oh, okay. You put it in Greek
Better-
yogurt. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
how the hell do you mix protein powder and cereal, dog? Like, that's got to be the driest stuff ever.
I've cut out dairy, and I'm hooked on cashew milk yogurt now. So that's where I'm.
Keeping it
That's
healthy.
where I'm at. I love.
I'm on
Do
your
what?
play.
Keeping
I'm
it healthy.
cheap.
Really? Well, my wife is big on discount grocery stores, so like we get it cheap in bulk. So hey, like whatever.
Same.
Okay, that makes sense.
I get
Yeah.
like a big tub of Greek yogurt, and that lasts me a while. I just, scoop it up, put my little protein in it. Sometimes I put some cereal. Sometimes I put the fruits in there. But that's my go-to, man. It's good stuff.
Okay. Real quick, I'm gonna get her. Let you get in the living room with her and let you guys go. We just announced that I talked this over with Cole earlier. Also, for Heat Wave, July 22nd. We are partnering with 4 Points Church in Greer, my home church, for the Southeastern Children's Home. I think I remember that correctly. We're doing a drive, taking up paper goods like toilet paper, paper towels, and then like Ziploc bags and like healthy type snacks like granola bars, that kind of stuff. We're doing a drive. So, it's all right. But we're doing a drive, taking up donations for them for the Southeastern Children's Home. So anybody who's coming out to Pro Wrestling Union's Heat Wave, July 22nd, be sure to bring any kind of donations like that to help those guys out. So
That's
we just
awesome.
me and Cole just finalized that today as well. So
All right. Did you make a Facebook post about it?
yes.
Okay.
Cole actually posted it right before I came in here to start this.
I'll put in the link. I'll put it in the chat.
Yep.
Well, you can put it in the chat. That's one thing. But I was going to say, share it and then tag
Yeah.
me, and then I'll share it. And we keep the look.
We'll keep
Absolutely.
Snowballs grow when they roll downhill.
That's it. That's it. I shared it. Cole shared it on the Pro Wrestling Unit page first, and then I shared it on AWL, and I shared it on my personal page. But I'll tag you in it and everything. Absolutely. We appreciate that, guys. Absolutely.
You tag me, and we'll be sure to put it out there. Because see, whether people admit it or not, and they watch this page, whatever, I don't care. But the thing of it is, I know there's people out there that watch it because when all of a sudden talent shows up and says, "Oh, hey man, by the way, thanks for the interview. I just got 4 bookings because of the half hour I was on your show." I'm like, Jesus Christ, 4 bookings out of a half hour? Oh,
Mhm.
oh, you're welcome. You feel free to buy me a drink. So, no, I never told that to anybody. Did I? No, I didn't. I didn't tell it to this guy. I had to think. And thinking for me is dangerous. It's like, oh, that
I get it.
that RAM chip fully working? Oh yeah, there it is.
I get it.
What do you?
Yep. Boom. That's
Why?
That's the image.
David doesn't know what he's doing.
I do. I
Hey, he's trying, man. We're all on a level
There we
of kind
go.
of not knowing what we're doing. Hey, that worked. There we go. Hey, I feel like every one of us was on a level of not knowing what we were doing tonight, so it's okay. I
What
was
are you
late to
talking
the
about?
chat. I was late to the chat. James, we kept losing him. Davin, he's trying.
I push
Ron,
buttons.
hey man, yeah, you push buttons. So my
What
daughter's got the noise canceling headphones stuck in her hair, so we're all struggling, man.
Okay, so listen.
How
I
did this
didn't press
happen, man?
buttons
I put them
wrong.
on. I put them on.
I did not press any wrong buttons so far tonight.
Hang on,
I know it hurts. She's got thick hair.
dude. So much hair.
Dude,
Go
I
see
can
if
see
mom
it.
can do it, baby. I can't get it.
I can see it. I mean,
I'm just gonna make it worse if I try to get it. Man,
So-
this is
so
live. We're
look.
live, pal. We're live, pal.
yeah. So listen, what you gotta do is you gotta turn the Joker like this till that T gets crossed into the straight lines. Then you pop the earpiece out, and then it'll free up her hair.
Yeah, I told her to go in the living room with mom to try it because I was only gonna make it worse. So hopefully she gets taken up. So, but guys, listen, I'm gonna head out. Thank you guys so much for inviting me on.
Thank you, sir.
For all the
It's a pleasure and
exposure.
an honor.
Hey man, thank you for
Absolutely.
being here. Like I say, tune into the next segment so you know where we're gonna be because you can find us as soon as tomorrow night. You can see us live somewhere within the next 24 hours, and we're gonna tell you exactly where that is in our next segment. Travis, thank you again, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. You guys have a great night.
Hey, you too,
You too.
dude.
was
So
That is awesome. I say that a lot, but I mean it every single time. That's awesome.
so here's the thing. I generally try to segregate my worlds. Okay. And like I made the remark the other night on Scott Larson's podcast, he had this call-in show. It's Scott. He had a call-in show because his guest canceled or something. But Scott brought up that well, you and I have talked, and we've been in the car, and we've run the roads, and we've talked wrestling, yada yada. You've picked me up, take me to shows. Yeah. He said people don't know what really goes on in your head, and I'm like, you're right. And they're going to get a chance to see that this Thursday. I told him, I'm like, don't promote my show. I don't want you to promote my show because I'm just a prick. But the reality is, Scott knows both me here and me here. And there's a difference. There's a huge difference. So tonight, our audience got to see the reality of, hell, even you. You and I were more real so far tonight than we've ever been on air. because we're normally our
Turned up to 11.
yeah, turned up to 11. That's the way to describe it. And I had to explain that to somebody at work, believe it or not. They were like, so how do you get into something like that? And I'm like, well, I said, let's say assign a number to yourself, and I don't mean in the way that most people think. Oh, I'm a 10. Yeah, bitch. No, you're not. I mean, assign a number to yourself, like how potent your attitude is, or how how poppy your personality is, and things like that. They were like, oh, okay, yeah, somewhere between a 3 and a 4, or 3 and a 5. I'm like, okay. I said, so what you see now is me, and this is me normal. This is me at a 3. I said, now imagine turning up the arrogance and the cockiness and the loudness and all that to 11. That's me when we're working a show, ring announcer, commentary, whatever we're doing, or interviewing. Interviewing, you kind of you dial it back a hair, but you don't really go. You go full, but you don't go all overboard. When you're doing the rest of that stuff, man, you got to be dialed up.
Yeah.
And even when we do the podcast, normally 9 times out of 10, man, I'm pushing into that 10 and 11 range. Sometimes 15. I have gone 15. It's dangerous when I go 15.
I put a couple energy drinks in, man.
No, I don't do no energy drinks. I can't stand that shit. The last time I will tell you, the last time I did an energy drink, and hell, you probably old enough to remember it. Do you remember the Halo 3 United States tournament?
Oh my god.
That was one of the last times I ever drank energy drink. Even she was surprised. Son of a bitch.
That's right on cue.
Yeah, I know. I hear her giggling from the background, so that means my audio is about 7 seconds delayed. Awesome. So
That's why I love doing these lives. It's just you never know what's gonna happen.
I know. Nah, I drank like 2 of the big 24-ounce rock stars. I don't know. I stayed up for like 3 days, and by the end of it, like I could see my heartbeat. Like it was just dicked up because I was up for so long. And then we come to find out that Maryland, the state I was living in, that shithole, was disqualified automatically because Martin O'Malley couldn't tax the money if you won and went to New York.
Wow.
And we were like, a bunch of us in Maryland were in like the top 50 at that point in time in ranks. So you had to be.
Yeah, it was around that time there was like a small little gaming outlet at my local mall. Shout out to the old Landmark Mall. And they were trying to get like Little Poison and a bunch of other guys to kind of start like a small local team. It didn't go anywhere. But yeah, I remember the highlight of freaking Halo. It was crazy.
Yeah, but this was the Halo US tournament. You could win like 50 grand in New York. The top 32 all got to go to New York and compete from there. And there was, like I say, man, there was 3 of us from Maryland, and we were all in the top 50. Like, and it was me and 2 friends.
Crazy.
And we were having a great time. Then all of a sudden, I think there was a video at one point. It was like I got 8 achievements in one match. It was stupid. Like, I got the sword death achievement. I got the 10 kill streak achievement. I got it was just a grenade kill achievement. I don't know. I got an ass load of them.
You're hitting the nostalgia right there, man.
Yeah, I know. It was like achievement unlocked. Yeah. I'm just glad that while I was playing Halo, I didn't get that damn reconnect troller thing. So anyway.
Wow, that's a throwback. Huh.
Yeah. Oh, Xbox 360 and the red rings of death and shit, man. I remember that. I think I got that once. I think it caught the.
Now you're making me feel old, man.
I know.
Mm.
Oh man, the Xbox 360 really was a good console.
It really was.
Xbox
it
One,
caught some flack, but it really was
Yeah.
a really good console.
Xbox One wasn't bad. I had one of those day one editions, and it was cool. I don't have time for console, so like I play my Switch or whatever when I can, and that's kind of the thing.
Yeah,
Um,
right now I'm bouncing between Diablo and Street Fighter, and then probably it's going to be Mortal Kombat because the Mortal Kombat beta starts soon. So I'll probably be streaming that later.
no. So I'm waiting till I beat Zelda, and then I'm gonna move into Diablo 4. I
Right.
have decided I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up. Even
And
I'm scared to do it.
and I'm going to be doing Lorenzo's going to be doing a Barbarian run through. So yeah, so be on the lookout for Lorenzo the Barbarian in Diablo 4.
Lorenzo the Barbarian.
Barbarian.
Okay. Lorenzo Lucha Llama the Barbarian, son of a bitch.
Just
That's gonna be
flows.
crazy. Yeah, it flows all right.
Hey, speaking of flowing, what are we flowing into next couple days? I know we have a bunch of shows coming up. I just sent you 5.
Yeah, I saw that, you miserable prick.
Hey, I got to keep you on your toes, man.
No, you gotta send me this in advance. What is all this shit? Do you work for? All right, hold on. We're not breaking the rules of engagement here. Oh man, look, hey, Joe Dance is chimed in. What's up, Joe?
Yo,
Hi to you.
good old Joe.
Yep.
And still reigning king.
Oh, Indie King JT retained, did he? Okay.
Yes.
Hey, hold on. Did that guy show up that said that if he showed up, he was gonna have to relinquish his title?
Yeah,
Did the guy
we want to know about that.
Because I saw Divine there, so that kind of made me, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, if Divine was there, I wonder if Old Boy showed up, and then Mr. Indie King JT had to turn his shit in. But anyway, so you sent me all this stuff, but here's the problem with what you sent me. The one I know this one that you do have a promo code deal working with them. I know that.
Okay.
So that I can go for. If I don't know what this other shit is, what is this shit? If you ain't got, you know the rule. You absolutely know the rules here.
Oh, I lost count.
Okay, this one here, the ICE, that one I know. Okay,
Icon Pro is another one. Ice, you always got ice. Oh, that's my neck of the woods. And then we got good Mr. Bracken. He was been on the show before, along with AOW, so they're doing their show. But I mean, we don't have to do that because that's not till next month, anyways. So,
well, here's what we do. Here's what we do.
We heard back from Joe. Hold on.
Yeah, he said Indie King
Indie King.
JT will speak on that next week because that show was so hot.
Fire.
Cool.
Fantastic. That'd be great.
Excellent. So, all right, I've got. Let me see here if there's anything here I need to bring up. This is in July. This is Saturday. This one I'm going to bring up. There's a Saturday show that you have coming up, and that one I'm going to bring up because I know you have the promo code thing. So I'm going to save that one and allow that. For anybody not sure what we're talking about, you want to get advertisements? Y'all need to get with us. That's how this works. The rest of this shit, we're gonna have to have a little powwow about.
Yeah, because they're not till July anyway. So I figured I'll just dump these here.
Yeah.
Because July is a busy month for us, regardless.
Dude,
Why?
July-
Because we have so much going on.
Dude, July is ridiculous.
It is
And, man, look, that drive, bro. I don't know about that drive. I ain't gonna lie to you. That drive's that's a hike. We gonna have to have a little conversation about that one too. But that's your birthday weekend too. And you know what else is that weekend? My wedding anniversary. Yeah. So there's a lot. There's a lot to it. That one goes there, and this one. Which one was this? This one. Is this this? This is this. Okay, that goes there. Okay. All right, so we got that loaded up. Sorry for the delay. Of my brilliant co-host sent it to me.
He said it first here, live. Brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant. My brilliant co-host sent it to me at the dead last possible minute. Let's see here. All right, so let's start with tomorrow. Let's start with tomorrow, and then we'll talk about this weekend. Okay, let's do that. So this weekend, live at Lenny Boy Brewing, we're going to Battlefield 2023 in Charlotte, North Carolina for XWW's next pay-per-view. Now, this is cool. You can watch it on pay-per-view on Roku or ExtremeTVOnline.com, where you can sign up and get your first 5 days free. So if you sign up tomorrow, you get the pay-per-view for free plus 4 more days. Then it is a simple cost of $4.99 a month to be subscribed to this.
That is a cup of coffee nowadays.
That $4.99 and a handshake won't buy you a good cup of coffee. Let's be clear. Okay? At least at a place. But there's been 3 matches announced. I have 2 of them, oddly enough. We have Rob Killjoy versus Maurice Moss. We have Cam Jackson and Jordan Holt going up against Christopher Prince and Nathan Cross. I believe Christopher Prince and Nathan Cross are named Bad Magic.
I like it. I like it.
The other, what is the other one?
You said 2. That's 2, bro.
No, there's
two wrestling matches.
Yeah, Peckerhead, but I had 3. I could have swore I had a third one for it. I just don't know where it is. 1, 2. All right, there's Maurice. There's that one. This. It is this. This is what we have. Jada Stone and Lexi Steele.
Well, Lexi Steele, you're in for a fight, let me tell you. Jada Stone is, she's tough as stone. And no pun intended there. Maybe slightly. But, I mean, she has heart. She has tenacity. That's going to be a fun match. That's going to be a close match.
Dude, that's
Stone versus Steel. Who will come up on top?
Dude, talk about being in between a rock and a hard place. Good Lord.
Hey.
Look, don't say I can't throw them out there because I can make shit
That was
up.
very punny. I like it.
It was extremely punny. I know. That's why I said it. But man, coming up, like I said, that's gonna be tomorrow night. That's gonna be a real fun spot.
And it's gonna be at Lenny Boys Brewing. Check out. And now the day after, on the 24th, the Firestar Men's Rumble is going to happen. The Firestar Women's Rumble is going to happen. Just Firestar is coming back to this weekend. You don't want to miss out on this. This is just 4 of the matches that are announced. You don't want to miss out. If you want to save money for tickets for this event and any Future Star event, just use promo code Estacado. You see that last name there at the bottom. Make sure you use that promo code so you can get tickets. They're still available. It's going to be amazing.
That's gonna be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
TDT
Versus
Jay
Duke
Malachi, Grant Watts, Jackson Drake. Shit. That's huge. It's huge.
And the cool thing is, whoever wins the main event, whoever wins the Rumble, will win a chance for the main event at the Wrestle Revival 10 for the FSPW Championship. And whoever wins the women's one will get a shot at the champion Amira Rose. So you don't want to miss out. This is going to be fire. It's going to be hot. It's going to be fantastic. Don't miss out.
Very cool. Coming up July the 14th, we're going to Extreme Warfare at the Waxhaw Tap House. XWW has a live television taping. That I was at Waxhaw last time. 350 plus in the crowd. Jack. It was hot, brother. It was hot. Your boy was hot. I was sweating my ass off, but it was a great show. We had a great time. Um, and I can't wait to get back. I really can't.
Will Manny Mac return? Yes, he will, because he's on the poster. He might do some crazy stuff. He might jump off some stuff. I want to go there just to see what the Manny Mac is going to do. My money is on Money Mac.
So Manny Mac got put through a table by
Ouch.
the Reaper quest. And he got put through kind of abruptly. He was picked up and thrown through it by a power bomb through a corner. He got power bombed in the corner through a table.
That sounds like fun. And I guess the crowd got their money's worth. And you don't want to miss out on that kind of action unless you come July 14th.
It was fantastic. But you've got other people there. I see. Is that Johnny? Who the fuck is that? Is that Johnny Faith? Is that who that is?
I see Cam Jackson. I see our boy right in the middle, Mr. Clifford, the Judge Dredd of the ring himself, holding the beautiful gold there in the middle of the ring. Shout out to Cliffy boy.
Oh. You got Sephiroth. You got Zay Vega. You got Angels, Christopher Prince,
El Luchador.
El Luchador, yes. Murph Mancini, Cam Jackson, Saeed Al Sabah, and Johnny Faith. I think that's who that is, Johnny Faith. That's the guy saluting, I believe.
Oh,
Not
and
100%.
the newest, most controversial yet fun addition is Little Panda.
Yeah, Lil Panda. Also, Jordan Holt. I didn't mention Jordan Holt. But Lil Panda's on there, too. Yeah, man, it's going to be a great time. It's fun. I wonder what Lil Panda's pointing at up there like this.
I
'Cause
think
up
he's
there
dabbing.
like that.
It looks like he's dabbing.
No, dude,
Or starting to
that-
dab.
dabbing's up here.
No, he's doing like you know what he's doing? Because Mr. Luchador is wearing like the same Nappa armor, he's trying to do the Ginyu Force, pose.
I don't know
get
what
it.
that is. I don't know what that is.
Look
You're
it up.
talking.
Ginyu
You're
Force.
talking anime, and you broke me. I don't do that. This is you.
This is going to be a wonderful weekend. Saturday, July 15th in Manassas, Virginia, near my hometown, in my area, the DMV, Northern Virginia. Come hang out with David Estacado as I call the action for intense action wrestling. We're going to go down the card. Soon we'll get to the date. We're going to have talent on here. And look, you already have JAC, JR Miller, Gabriel Kai, and the King Beast himself, J. Cole. I'm excited for this one. J. Cole is a monster, and he's going to go one-on-one with the big man in the middle of that poster, and I'm excited for it. We're going to break that down in a few short weeks.
Very cool, man. Very
Tickets are
cool.
available for that, and there's special VIP tickets. Check out the Facebook page for more details on that, and check out my page for more information on that as well.
Coming up the same day, different state, Jacksonville, North Carolina, ICE presents to you.
Got you in your sights, part
this
two.
This is Salute to the Troops Part 2. Got you in sight.
I was gonna get to that, but you ruined it. You ruined what I was gonna do.
You've fucking read it wrong. If you
I was
read it
trying
wrong,
to hype it up, just backwards, comma. You know what?
if
just
you
cut the show.
if
It's
you're
gonna-
gonna you can't hype
if
it
you
up
want to watch
wrong.
the King retain his title one more time and be in the presence of wrestling royalty, you're gonna have to come out to this show because it's gonna be an amazing follow-up to the last one. You heard it from the King himself. The last show was fire. This one's gonna be just as good too.
Dude, you got TIM. Looks like Mark James is on the card. I think I see Divine Dynasty in there.
You do? Mm-hmm.
What are those? I think the dudes are called like the Blood Brothers or the Brothers in Blood or something. Or Blood. I can't think of. I cannot remember what their
The tag team,
tag team. Yeah,
Radical City Kings.
no, the cat with the backwards hat and the mustache. I can't remember his name. I thought he was one of the Blood Brothers or something, or that's what they called themselves.
We will find that out. With the
I
King.
could be wrong.
We're gonna have a little, attendance.
We'll do a
with the
thing.
King. Yeah,
We'll do a thing. Yeah, we'll do the thing. Coming up the very following week, Pro Wrestling Union presents Heatwave. Coming to you live, Union, South Carolina, Union County Recreation Center. This is very cool. It's going to be real hot.
And I
This will
think
be hot.
one of the matches that has been announced, I think the Drew train himself, Drew Hood's going to be here, ain't he?
Oh, Mr. Drew Hood is challenging for the Pro Wrestling Union heavyweight title, which is actually being retired. The Pro Wrestling Union heavyweight title is actually being retired. It will become the United Pro Wrestling heavyweight title. Now,
Wow.
here's where this is special. Pro Wrestling Union has partnered up with other wrestling promotions in the area. This title won't just be defended at Pro Wrestling Union. It'll be defended everywhere.
That is awesome. That is amazing.
Everywhere is where it's going to be available to be defended at. So it's going to be huge. I can't wait. There are a lot of matches to be announced on this one, and I believe sometime between now and then we're going to have Mr. Cole Mackabee on. Perhaps we will get the general manager Matty G on to talk about some of this stuff. Man, I'm ready for a solid night of professional wrestling coming out of Pro Wrestling Union. And remember, this is partnering up with 4 Points Church of Greer, South Carolina. They'll be accepting donation for the Southeastern Children's Home in Duncan, South Carolina. Healthy snacks, food storage bags, paper towels, toilet paper, etc., etc. Dude,
It's for a good cause.
you get
It's
to
like
see good wrestling and help out needy people.
Mhm.
Like, this is like, winning on top of winning. It's like the fourth wall break inside the fourth wall break. It's like 16 walls. It's great, man. Now,
You divide it by 0, so that's a lot of inception.
if you divide by 0, the answer is 0, though. And anything times 0 is always 0. So if anything's, hold on. So is it times 0 or divided by? Dude, I can't keep track. I've been doing so much math lately at work. It's not even funny. Next up on the list, Betrayal 2023, heading back to the Monroe National Guard Armory. We have Fodder challenging Madman Fulton, the main event monster himself, for the XWW Heavyweight Championship. So the NWA Fodder versus Impact Wrestling Fulton for the XWW Heavyweight
It'd be
title.
foe versus foo. That's the National Guard Armory. That's going to be a fight.
That's going to be a slugfest.
Mm-hmm.
These two dudes like to fight anyway. It's going to be brutal.
That's a brawl. I'm excited for that one.
Coming up after that, we're going to Blacksburg, South Carolina. Saturday, August 5th, for Pro Wrestling Union presents the Iron City Clash. This is all proceeds going to Blacksburg Middle School. So yet again, another charity event. I love working charity shows. Really do. Always a good time. They're always for a good cause. The crowds are always hype at charity events.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I guess, because they're all excited for it being such a, good cause. They get excited for what's going on too. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what it is. Book bags for Body Slam. Or Body Slams for book bags. I said it wrong. See, look, you're not the only one who can say shit backwards and it sounds stupid. I did it. So Saturday, the only way you sounded cool if you were in a refrigerator when you said it, buddy. So, live professional wrestling, August the 12th. Now, this is presented by Wrestling for Christ and the View Church. Come out and meet Caprice Coleman and come out and meet the Barbarian. Guest speaker, Dr. Chris Whaley. Somebody's going to have to get me that man's proper name pronunciation because I don't know the guy. So there's that. But that'll be in Broiling Springs, South Carolina, August the 12th. Parade of Champions, Saturday, September the 2nd, Union County Rec Center. Can't tell you too much. I can just tell you, look at the poster. I see Landon Hale. I see George South, Deion Johnson, Bebop, and Chase Emery. Holy shit, Batman. Is that going to be something? That's you.
UPW comes back for Uncensored September 9th. Look at that. You have Bobby Fish, Alex Kane, Buff Bagwell, and the rest of the UPW roster coming back for a vengeance in Raleigh, North Carolina. The first show was fantastic. You don't want to miss up on the second one. I'll be there live calling the action. You need to be there live. If not, you're going to miss out on a hell of a show. Tickets should be available. Again, use that promo code Estacado to save some money and come get your tickets before they're gone, because this is guaranteed to be a fire show.
Man, definitely. I still got to get into contact with the guy about this one to see what we're doing. But yeah, they've got two
We'll have a
badass
meeting.
posters for this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
two
we'll
great
have a
posters.
meeting. We'll have a powwow. CPW returns for Takeover. This is going to be later in the month of September. That is all we got. That's the 5-year or the 5th anniversary. Ain't dead yet. CPW. Heroes 2 Legends Wrestling will be running again in October. Currently slated for October 7th. Now, October was a long ways out when this was written, so card subject to change. So this may or may not be the 7th. We will have to see, because 2 different promotions are both staking a claim for October the 7th. We're going to see what we got going on, because AWL is coming back to the Welford Pavilion for Super Clash. I don't know what any of this, other than the word wrestling, and clash, has to do with wrestling. But that's a badass poster right there. That skull is it's like the Terminator got hit with Captain America and the Iron Patriot. Like, it's a combination of all 3 things, and I'm digging it. Okay, I am digging it.
That's pretty dope.
Yep, that is good, bro. And that's everything.
Almost
That's
everything.
everything. What? Almost everything?
Well, I mean, there's so much shows, so many shows going on, man. It's a lot.
Oh, are you talking about some stuff you know about this weekend?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, cool. I get to take a break.
No, I already talked Firestar.
Don't you know every 2 hours you get a 15-minute break?
You get a 15-minute break. All right.
Yeah, every 2 hours. Listen.
Running for 2 hours, man.
An hour and 53 and 32 at this point. 35
Shit.
now.
Doesn't feel like it. Time just flies when you're having fun.
We completely deleted an entire segment tonight too.
Man,
Think about that. We were supposed to have a 3rd guest.
we were, and we still went overtime a little bit. Well,
Yeah.
a lot bit.
No, we didn't go overtime because the other guest didn't answer the call. I've extended segment 1 and 2.
True.
This is called creating content. You got to know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. What are you doing? Are you trying to? I swear to God, the next time I see you, remind me to kick you in the forehead.
Why
Okay.
the forehead? Leave the forehead alone. This is the moneymaker. So is
No,
this.
the mouth needs to stay intact because you talk a lot. That part I use you for here, but the forehead, nah, I don't need that.
No. Look, I'm going to add, because they've been on our show before, and because they support us, I'm going to share 2 posters for
Okay.
upcoming shows.
Okay, I didn't know what you sent me for all that for.
Yeah,
so
well, like I
didn't
said,
know what-
everything else is not until July, so that's fine and dandy.
Well, no, it's not that. It's we got to know what we're doing. There's a difference. There's a difference between working for a living and sharking. Okay.
That's true.
Okay. You want a dogfish? You know you can go take out the sailboat. But you want the real boy? We gotta go get the orca. Okay.
Gotta get the monies. The monies.
Now, hey, look, see, now, you're carrying that in a different direction. It's not what I was talking about. This guy, I swear to God,
You know me.
what are you doing? Do you know what you're doing?
I know what I'm doing.
Do I need to drive?
Pow! See? Magic.
Okay.
I make things happen.
Okay.
Well, that's July. Well,
What
same day, July 15th. We've had them on the show. Look at that card. Yeah, TDT, Sin Crowley, AG Biggs, yeah, Mickey Folk, Cass and Kane, AOW, and FWA Retribution coming to you July 15th.
Oh yeah. This guy was cool.
Yeah, I like this guy.
Yeah.
He likes
And-
us. He shares our stuff out all the time.
Does he?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then I see Lexi Steele on there. Yeah.
Mhm.
Very cool. And that's in King, North Carolina. Dude, why is July 15th like the most popular thing? It's like the
I don't
dead
know.
center.
It's either that weekend or this weekend. It's ridiculous.
It's
Then
the
again,
dead
it's-
center of like the hottest month, and we're in the fucking South, and it's already hot and humid and shit.
Don't get me started. Don't
Dude,
get me started.
like, all right, outdoor shows in July. Let me tell you something, Bob. We did an outdoor show last July at the Welfare Pavilion,
Mhm.
and the only person who got overheated and threw up was me. A lot of people might have got overheated, but I'm the only one that threw up, and that's because my stupid ass tried to cool myself down by chugging 2 bottles of cold water. Guess what? Didn't stay down. The 2 bottles
it's
of
funny
cold water.
that you mentioned heat because the heat is rising this weekend. See what I did there? See the second? See what I did
Well,
there?
the temperature is rising because Sunday we're gonna have decent weather again.
True.
I just stole all the thunder out of your
You
statement.
did, and I hate you for it.
That's good. That's good. Let the hate flow through.
Yes. Let the hate flow through you. He blew it.
All right.
That's good.
What is
Check
this?
it out. The heat is rising. The chef is stirring things up. He reaches out to me every now and then to get some good talent. Look at that stat card. It is going to be a fantastic weekend. Again, the chef, a lot of his shows go to proceeds to the local kids in the area and schools in the area. He does a great job. And he's having a show this weekend as well, June 24th in Salemburg, in North Carolina. Shout out to you, chef. You're awesome. Keep stirring stuff up. Oh, look. Miss Audrey's going to be there.
I see that.
Current women RWC Women's Champion.
Dude, she's a badass.
Sure is. Sure
Weapon X.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to read the name. It's very hard to read this poster. That I think the names on the poster, I should say, down the bottom. That's kind of that. Yeah, you see.
It is a bit blurry. You're right, but at least the
Yeah.
poster looks dope.
Yeah, the poster looks fine. Stir Up Wrestling. Okay. So, I'm glad he's got the spoons on there for Stir Up Wrestling, because if you had said Stir Up Wrestling, I would have thought you were talking about the thing that your foot goes in when you're riding a horse. And I would have been like, the fuck kind of sense does this make for wrestling? So I'm glad he's got the spoons in the logo.
It's terrible.
I know, I've got
and
all-
there's so many other shows going on, and we don't have time for them all. But you will find out about them here on the Thursday Night Indie Spotlight, just hanging out. And we also always drop bombs. It seems like every time we have a guest, they're always dropping something cool, some bombs, some cheeseman. The cheeseman is always out here at the Thursday Night Indie Spotlight.
Yeah, well, tonight was a little bit different show, and actually this one was so different. I'm compelled to put it out there on the downloadables, so you'll be able to pick this one up or tell people about it if they don't want to sit there and watch 2 hours of Facebook. Because I thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you realize that if you download, a podcast thing, you can actually have the podcast playing while scrolling Facebook? You can't do that with YouTube because YouTube cuts off every time you page off, which pisses me off.
That's
stupid. Like Pandora plays, asshole. all this other shit. Spotify plays, everything else works, but not you. What is that? Why? Why is that? I don't like that. So anyway, you can go and download the actual thing and listen to this while still doing your social media stuff or while doing your other stuff, walking around the house, cleaning the house, working, whatever the case may be. And you can still hear all the cool shit. But I think this the whole like sensory inclusion and autism thing needs to be heard by the big audience.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna send that one out to the world on the
To the
on
masses,
the podcast.
to the Wrestle Collective, the Wrestle Net. Needs
Yeah,
to hear about this.
to the masses of dumbasses that follow. We appreciate you.
We thank you. And we appreciate
Oh,
it.
man.
We appreciate the passion
Nah.
and how awesome you guys in tuning in every week or every time we have this. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. So again, thank you to y'all.
Oh yeah.
Pat in the back.
And definitely, man, we have a good time doing this too. And like I say, tonight was a different show, and you knew it was going to be a different show. We had a lot less fan interaction than I anticipated, but I was cool with that because that that segment didn't really need fans as much as it needed support, and I felt like it got good support. So I'm
I
happy.
agreed. I think that's. I think a lot of people agree that we're missing the support in this business. I think a lot of us get so kind of caught up in trying to make it to the next level that we kind of forget that we're all in this. You know, if I step up, I'm bringing my people with me. You know, and if you step up, you bring me. It's supposed to be this. You know, we're supposed to be looking out for each other. Know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing, and we'll close on this. Here's the whole trick with
Our
it.
final thoughts.
I've said it before. A lot of people talk about wanting to get to that next level and wanting to go to that next level. This is currently the end level, whether you realize it or not, because you're on a level till you beat the level, then you go to a different level. So you're always playing on the level you're supposed to be playing on until you get called to the next one. But if you get so wrapped up in your bullshit that, and I don't mean you as in you, I mean you as in
People in
everybody.
general.
People in general, everybody, everything. If you get so wrapped up in your bullshit that you can't process further and go further, then well, good to you. You're not able to accept that next level because you're so wrapped up in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get what I'm saying? I think people need to enjoy where they're at, because if you enjoy where you're at and you're not complacent about it, but you know you're still kicking ass and you're doing a good job, and you're not like, "Oh, I'm above this." If you're one of those I'm above this shits, then you're the fucking problem. You're the problem. You really are. Whereas, and
I'm kind of more in the mindset that like this isn't. It's friendly competition, but I'm not competing with anybody else. If anything, I like working with a collective with anybody else. Because if I see an opportunity and I can't make it, I like to share that opportunity with somebody else. I will mention your name and open doors of opportunity, because I know you would do the same for me. If I believe in a project, if I have a passion for a project, I support 100%. And if I can't make it there, I will find a way to make it work.
well, right, and that's not necessarily what I mean. I mean more like, I'm not. Am I going to be mad if I get a phone call from a place that's going to give me a TV deal? No, I'm not going to be mad about it, but I'm also not going to be butthurt about it because I'm not there. I'm grateful for where I am, and I think that's what's wrong. Is you have people that aren't grateful for where they are already. They've already worked their ass off to get here. Look at the amount of work that goes into this shit. The time in the gym and the time at the seminars, the time on the road, the gas in the cars, all this shit that people put into it, and they're mad because they're not past it. Nah, Be grateful from where you are already, because not everybody can do this. I'm trying to make it make sense. It makes sense in my head, but I don't know if it makes sense out there.
I kind of get what you're saying. Is that you should be humble and be
Nah, not even
not
humble.
humble, but
Grateful. Be grateful. Dude, all right. 10 years ago, what were you doing? Were you doing anything with wrestling 10 years ago? Okay. Did you want to be? So be fucking grateful that you are.
oh yeah, I'm living the dream, bro. I'm living
Exactly.
the dream.
That's
Little
what
kid
I mean.
me, like what's his name? Inner child me would be freaking out.
Dude, exactly. Like,
So I guess what you're saying is like be happy what you're doing.
yes,
Don't
because if
don't
you're not
limit
happy
yourself.
with it, you're gonna do a shit job,
Yeah,
dude.
you're okay. Your
I got
inner
to
kid
say,
will be happy with where you are right now.
bro, I got to send the video of me standing in a wrestling ring with fucking Ricky Morton to my older brothers. I'm the youngest of 5, okay, and they remember Ricky from when he was current. He's still current now, but you know what I mean. Like when the Rock and Roll Express was coming through, Richmond and Baltimore and DC and all that bullshit. They remember that. They were there in attendance. I was not. I was likely swinging in fucking Nutville or too little to go anywhere or something. But their younger brother and my older brother is damn near, I think he's 20 years older than I am. My oldest brother is. I sent him that video and he's like, holy shit, I can't believe it. Like, yeah, dude, this is what I get to do. And I fucking love that I get to share that with them.
Yeah.
I love the fact that I get to share it with my daughter. I'm just so grateful to be here.
Yeah, and I'm so I get what you're saying now. Like, yeah, I am so
Yeah.
It's so surprising. I never thought in 100 years I was gonna be doing what I'm doing today. Like I said earlier, like inner David, little David would have been like, "Are you serious? You get to do that? That's so cool," And the fact that I get to see it again from another person's perspective, from the other side, as a fan, and get them see them light up every time they come to a show, it's fantastic. I get to relive that over and over again every show.
Bro,
and the fact that I got that support and that love, and they feel that passion, how I love this. Sometimes I feel like a little kid again because I get to relive those memories with some of my heroes I grew up with and some of my fellow colleagues, be it commentators, be it wrestlers, be it you. You see me at the shows, man.
Yeah.
I'm a fan, and I love it. And you can hear that passion in our voice when we do our commentary, when we do the announcing. It's the energy, it's the passion, it's the love, and I pour that into this. I pour my heart and soul into this because I love it, and I love that feeling.
Right. And I think a lot of people think, oh, this is all. Nah, this has been the realest damn show we've ever done. This has probably been the realest show, other than that one night I was fussing at a motherfucker. This is probably the realest show, the realest Ron you've ever seen. Ever. Because that's about as raw as I'm gonna get with people. I don't do that shit. It's not me. It's not who I am. But tonight, with everybody being real about what meant shit to it, it opened that door, and here I am. That's kind of how it went down.
Sure,
but-
let's leave on a happy note. Like, I'm getting verklempt.
Oh, okay. What's the happy note? Here, we got a great comment in there. Support your brothers and sisters in this building.
Amen. Amen.
Yup. He said, "Speak, speak." He was cheering. What are these symbols?
Exclamation
Claps
points.
and handshake. Hell yeah. He said he feels the love that I have for this business. Dude, I really do. But I just want people to be fucking grateful to be involved. There's so many people that feel jaded about it, but I just want people to feel grateful for it. I'm grateful to be alive. First off, I shouldn't have survived what put me into wrestling to begin with. And I can't talk about all that shit yet, but when I can, I will. But damn it, I'm telling you, I shouldn't have survived. I should be fucking dead. I should be dead.
I'm not laughing at what you're saying. I'm laughing because, like, I have a similar experience, like, two near-death experiences myself, and here we are. We're having this conversation about wrestling. So,
I got in here. When I tell people I literally fell ass backwards into professional wrestling, they go, "Oh, no, bitch! I really fell backwards into fucking wrestling. You don't understand because I can't tell you the truth yet. But eventually, I will have the ability to tell you the truth, and that should be really fucking soon. Very soon, I should be able to tell everybody the truth, and I'll be grateful to do it. I'll be so fucking happy to tell everybody. A handful of people know it because I've personally told them, but they know that you can't talk about that.
No, not yet.
But
Yeah. There's
excited.
a time and place, and I know exactly what
it's coming. At. It's coming.
I feel a promo coming, baby.
No, and hey, David, on that night, we're gonna drink on air. We're gonna drink on air that night.
Not on Twitch, though. Well, everything else, yes, not Twitch.
You can't drink on Twitch?
You can't, man. You know the rules.
No, I don't know the rules. Do you know why? Because I don't fucking use Twitch.
All right, so no alcohol, no drugs, nothing, so far, all that. Those are all rules. That's mostly all social media to begin with, actually. Most of social media.
I've drank beer on air like a lot.
Lucky guy.
So you mean to tell me, dude, when the Briscoe brother died, I was drunk by the time we ended the show because I was sitting in here drinking Crown Royal.
I'm not trying to get us, cut off or whatever. I don't know what to say. But on that note, that's a note we can end on.
How is this? This is the dumbest shit ever. What is wrong with the social media shit that you can't drink on air?
Before he needs to call his lawyer, we'll see you.
God damn it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for being here tonight. Greatly appreciate it. I'm fucking aggravated now.
We'll talk about it. We'll call his lawyer.
We'll call the lawyer now. We'll call the lawyer. Yeah, I got to call a fucking lawyer. Anyway, listen. It's been real. It's been fun. Hell, y'all. It's been real fun. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see you
at the Indies. Buenos Doritos, right. Buenos Nachos, deuces.
What the fuck is a Buenos Doritos?
Just